This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. For those of you who are joining us here live in the Zoom room, welcome. We are so glad that you are here taking this time out to learn more about what you can do in this thing we call a life journey to better health and wellness. So thank you for joining us. Make sure that you have that chat open, as we have both Marilyn and Phyllis here that are going to be contributing to that chat and doing transcription. Marilyn does a lot of transcription, so if you can't write fast enough, she can type that fast, and then you can just go back and write what you want for your notes. And also make sure that you have pinned that profile that says smile, because that's what the rest of the world is seeing right now and in the future. Now, for those of you who are watching us out on the World Wide Web and you want to join us live, we are here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, and 3 to 4 Eastern. And ask your favorite search engine what time it is in your time zone if you are not in those 4 time zones. So, welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. Today, I have one of my favorite people. I have lots of favorite peoples. Yes, I do. But this is an individual who is a graduate from Portland State University with quad majors, folks, both in, or all 4, in sports medicine, health, physical education, and chemistry. He was an associate professor at PSU in health and first aid, and assistant athletic trainer for PSU. So that's Portland State University, if I am not mistaken, for the Portland Timbers soccer team and the Portland Storm football team. So very much into those great sports. as he likes football, soccer, or American. And he is on the board certified athletic trainer with the NATA, National Athletic Trainers Association. Richard Renton, he has a bachelor's science and a master's. He also oversees much of the quality control issues for the Youngevity products. And he has also achieved the rank of Diamond Executive Leader in his own Youngevity independent business. He's been active in the Boy Scouts of America throughout his life, has achieved the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout, God and Country, Vigil of Order of the Arrow, Scout Master, and District Commissioner. So folks, please help me welcome, lovingly known as Dr. Dirt. Hello, 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 Richard. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on, and I was grateful for that introduction. Probably one thing I will say to add to that is that I've become very active in Rotary International because of its ability to help worldwide with helping our community. 'Cause, you know, it used to be our community was our neighbors. Now it seems it's the whole world. And we've almost gotten rid of polio. So that's a big step that I've been contributing to, as well as helping my local community.
That's fantastic. And I'm glad you mentioned Rotary. As I remember as a kid going through 4-H and doing presentations for the Rotary in Flagstaff and also in the Queen Creek area. And they were part of my scholarships that I received to go to college. So that's awesome. That's
And we give out
fantastic. Thank you so much.
$26,000 a year out of our local club to scholarships.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So you are very well-rounded, very much rooted in community, creating community, and educating community at so many different levels. So I am just blown away and have so much gratitude that you're joining us here and helping us to educate on our platform as well.
Great.
So Richard, today, let's focus on a brand that Youngevity has acquired, if I'm not mistaken, called the Proline. The Proline has so many different products. You've got Purmeric, Ocutiv, Synaptiv, Glucogenix, XeraFem, XeraTest, Imortalium, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets. What did I miss?
Ocutiv,
Ocutiv for the eyes.
Projoint, Procardio.
Projoint for the joints, Procardio for the heart and vascular system. So what makes this line of products special or a great addition to, not even but it is a great addition to the 90 essential nutrients?
I agree with that. So we actually designed all those products. It wasn't an acquisition. The way the original story came out, and we're going way back when Dr. Schrauser and Dr. Dubois were active on the scientific boards and helping us with formulas. But we had a series of professional medical people, naturopathic physicians or chiropractors or massage therapists that wanted to have a product line that had a few more trademark products or unique products in it. And they wanted to look classier so that they could display it in their offices. And so it's the first line that we came out with that were in the glass bottles, but not only were they in the glass bottles, they were also in the boxes that we have here. And we're going to go over the formulas and a little bit of the history about it and some of the things that are unique within our company and that I'm very proud of. And so when I first started to work with Dr. Wallach, I met Dr. Gerhard Schrauser, who was a Dean Emeritus at San Diego State. He also was the founder of the Trace Mineral Society and was a good friend and very important influence in Dr. Wallach's life. And, when I first started to design the products for Dr. Wallach and I sat in the scientific board, I had Dr. Schrouser there, I had Dr. Gerhardt, Dr. DeRue, Dr. Wallach, Dr. Milan, as well as other ones sitting there going, well, why did you pick this product at that much? And why did you pick this product? And I felt like I was doing my orals for my master's again. And it was intimidating for the first couple of times. But after a while, I got used to it. And because all they wanted to do was make the product better. And so it was a great introduction to formulating products that I really enjoyed. So we got this request that we did this, and the first product we went to work on was called Imortalium, and that product was to increase the health of telomeres. And back in that time, and I'm going to do some little stuff here, and I'm going to, sorry about this, I probably should have done this before.
You're good.
And then go boom, and there it should be popping up. Dr. Schrouser got a hold of Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, which at that time was working at the University of California. You can see this, correct? I put up her Wikipedia.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So what makes her unique and special is she actually won, along with two other doctors that she was working with, a Nobel Prize for telomere nutritional health. Now, if you don't know what a telomere is, it's in our chromosomes, and it's part of that helix twisting molecule of DNA. And as you twist it out, they have ends. And the ends are kind of, I always explain it as shoelaces that you've twisted up, and you got that plastic tip at the end of the shoelaces. I know they don't have shoelaces anymore, they have Velcro, but hopefully you're with me on the shoelaces. And that plastic end would be equivalent to a telomere on these DNA strands. And so what it is that if you keep that end healthy, they don't fall apart or break apart, and they become a healthier DNA chain that splits apart better. And so it became very important. So we were working with Dr. Blackburn on what nutritional products best benefit telomere health. And so we came out with the product Immortalium. I'll show you the bottle. I'll show you the box maybe a little bit later on. As you can see, it's in a blue bottle with a blue label. It is a glass bottle. And in that particular product, we have a series of vitamins that she suggested them. Most of them you'll see as antioxidants. Of course, selenium's in there, which made Dr. Wallach extremely happy. Has alpha-lipoic acid in it, as well as resveratrol, fucoitin, and K2 in it. But then, and all this stuff that I'm showing you today is on the Youngevity website. And so if you want to go and write yourself notes or read a little bit about it, do this, because I'm just cursing down on the website, and it gives a brief benefit of all the different things. But then you start to go down here and you see what that telomere blend is. And one of the key things to me is grapeseed extract along with certain amino acids. And when you do those particular things, it helps telomere health. Now, what else does that spin off to? If you've listened to Dr. Wallach, he feels that it benefits stem cell research and those particular things, as well as anti-aging within the whole body. And so there's multiple uses you can do it with. Does it replace the Mindy 90? None of these really do, except for probably the last one we're going to talk about. And so there it goes. Then the next two steps was XeraTest and XeraFem. Test being for men, Fem being for women, and they're relatively semi-similar. And what we did is we took Immortalium and we created a half dose of it. And then with that telomere health, then we added products that would be beneficial for men and women. In this case, alpha-lipoic acid and the trademark product, which is called Vionoxide, which increases nitrous oxide in your body as well as blood flow. And so those are the two main ingredients in that one. Also, the seed extract. And if you haven't heard of that one, you see it quite often in diabetes products because it helps lower blood sugar. When you control your blood sugar and lower your blood sugar, what typically happens? You lose weight. And so that always makes people excited. And so there's the benefits of that. So you can see that in the male formula, that particular there, and you can see how it has Imortalium in it at a half dose, but it also has some other things. And I'll click over here to the female product. And with that, we'll go down and we'll start to see natural benefits like ginseng, dandelion, L-arginine, which all help women control their hormones. Now, when I say control their hormones, it brings it to an even keel. In other words, if you have a particular one that's too high, it has a tendency to bring it down. You have one that's not high enough, it'll have a tendency to bring it up. It's kind of like if we were to take women's hormonal balancer and we put it with Imortalium type idea. And so it's that combination of doing there. There again, if we click on that, it's an attractive bottle. Also glass has an auric value because it's an antioxidant of 7,500, which at the time we came out with this product, we were excited with that number. Now it seems kind of low, but we might update the formulas on that particular product. Then probably my all-time favorite in all the Proline is Synaptiv. Unfortunately, it's not the least expensive product. It's up there price-wise at $63.95 as a support product. So I'll still tell you need almighty 90, but it helps with short-term memory. So when you talk about short-term memory, two key things come to my mind. People my age, 70 and above, because we start to lose some of our short-term memory. And the other group, which is to me more important, are youth. Part of my challenges with our school system in the United States, the way it is that originally it was kind of designed that everyone would take summers off because the majority of our country had to do with farming, and they needed the youth to go out there to help with the farm, with the harvest. And therefore, they would leave school during the summer. Well, that 2.5 to 3 month period, depending on which one it is for you, creates challenges where the kids don't retain knowledge as well. And usually when they go back to school at the next grade, the first month of that school, they're catching them up for what they basically forgot during the summer. And to me, it would make more sense nowadays to have year-round school, except for maybe in the Midwest where farming is still extremely important. But just to help the kids, I look at what the math scores are in the United States versus Asia versus Europe, and we're not in the top 15 anymore. And that bothers me. It bothers me in a couple different ways because what we find, and I'm going to get politically incorrect here a little bit, is that Chinese students come over here for college and they're already ahead of us in math, and they go to our college and learn our techniques, and then they go to work for our companies and learn our techniques, and then they go home and they share it with communist China and they change. And I'm greedy. I actually believe that we need to increase our education for our own people and take care of ourselves so that we can improve the quality of our life, because we're falling behind, people. And if there's anything that we can do to increase the knowledge of what's going on with our young people to help them retain their knowledge by giving them products like SmartFX, which is a very purified EFA, and products like this one, it becomes extremely important. And so I cursored down the screen here, and now I'm going to find it. This is phosphorylserine. That's the active ingredient that really does a kick stop, and there's actually 3 different forms of it to increase short-term memory. And if you take that one word and you go to my favorite website, .gov, let's see now, PubMed.gov, there we go. See, I need more Synaptiv. PubMed.gov, and you type in that ingredient and type in memory, you'll see, I think it's over 3,000 articles of research showing the benefits of those types of things. And with that product as well, we add antioxidants and whatnot in there to improve those types of things. I really, really, really love this product. With no exception, it is my favorite within this group. Very few people don't need it. You always run in when I talk to customers, people asking, what can I do to help with my memory or my parents' memory or my grandparents' memory or even my kids' memory? Not mentioning, I have a grandchild that had to have a little bit of Tourette syndrome, and it was really frustrating. His father was a doctor and was going to put him on medication. And I sat down with him and says, why don't you just do me a favor and put him on 200 milligrams of magnesium citrate or gluconate a day for 2 weeks and tell me what happens. And he is open-minded about nutrition. I'll give him credit for that. So he kind of looked in. He went to my favorite website and looked in and found out that it's beneficial. And in 2 weeks, it was cured. And I shouldn't use the cure word. It no longer occurred. There we go. And so I turned around and made the suggestion for their kids to use Synaptiv as well, just to help them. And after talking to the teachers on the kids being on for a couple of months, they said they noticed a greater increase in class participation, a greater increase on retention of memory, a greater retention in being active within the classroom and being a leader in answering questions. And that's exactly what I want to hear. So I'll share this product with all of you to see if that will help you. Then we're going to shift to my next favorite, Ocutiv. So as you can see, it's almost a $70 product. If you can't figure out by the name, it basically helps with eye health. To be honest with you, when people call me about eye health, I almost always start them at Vision FX and see if they see improvement with Vision FX. If they do and it isn't enough, or they don't, then I take them up to the Ocutiv because it's just a stronger version. I'll click on the ingredients so you can all see it. Has more ingredients. It's got the whole fruits and vegetables. It's got bilberry extract, which is very, very important for your eye, as well as A, C, and E, and zinc and selenium. And then we're going to move down and it's going to show you that it has lutein, lycopene, xanthine, and hexatine in it. And all those words that I really can't spell, and I probably don't pronounce them correctly, but they're all there for you to see, are the ingredients when you look at any eye product that you're going to see there, except that we've taken it and gotten trademark products that have less bacteria in them, and they're healthier products. Whenever you talk about herbs or derivative of herbs, they almost always have a higher bacteria count than like vitamin A because of just the way that they're naturally get. And so one of the requirements Steve says, since they're going to pay the premium dollar for these products, we want to do, Purmeric, we forgot Purmeric, is that we're going to improve that. I won't bring Purmeric up for the next one, but it basically is our turmeric product. And what makes it unique is it's 98% pure on the active ingredients that are beneficial with your immune system that everyone always talks about, but the bacterial count is about 10% of the average product. And so we feel very good giving it to everybody. And so I didn't put it up. I can't really show it to you, but it's there. It's Purmeric, and I think you'll like it. The next one I'm going to bring up, how am I doing time-wise? I'm doing pretty good, is the one that is kind of like the same thing. We have Sweet-eze to help people control their blood sugars. It has chromium, vanadium, and other ingredients. John, I'll see your hand. I'll get you in just a few minutes. But it also has the active ingredients in there to help control blood sugar. So as with Vision FX and Ocutiv, I do the same thing with Sweet-eze and Glucogenix. And that is, if the first one doesn't work, then we switch over to the second one. And if that one seems not work, then we'll switch them on both, because sometimes more is better. The one difference that that I will point out is that the Sweet-eze has cinnamon in it, and there's lots of studies showing the benefit of cinnamon as a herb helping. This one actually has clove bud as well as green tea, which has ECGCs in it, which also shows to be beneficial in controlling blood sugar and speeding up your metabolism. I like the product. I think it does a great job, and we're going to skip forward to the next two. So the next two is we're going to kind of keep going with the same trend. We have a lot of products that support joint health. We have glucogel, we have the collagens, we have lots. Actually, collagens came out after Projoint, but Projoint was basically designed for the medical office, and it literally has all the buzz products that people always talk about. And I think that's important to do. It has vitamin D, but with the vitamin D, it has K, it has C and magnesium in it, it has glucosamine, MSM, and collagen in it, the chicken style, has HA in it, hyaluronic acid. It also has turmeric, which is an anti-inflammatory, as we know. Olive leaf, of our oils, olive leaf is the absolute best do-it-for-all product, ranking right there with tea tree. If you just can only afford two to always have on your shelf, you want super olive and you from Good Herbs, and you want tea tree from Ancient Legacy. Those are great products to have on it, as well as Boswano, which helps with joint development. It has a little bit of trace minerals. On this particular one, we want to be able to send it into all the foreign countries. So we're using a red algae form to get in there versus our mine, because we have trouble getting our mine into parts of Europe. And you can see the benefit there. Anyone that has a grandmother around anymore, ask her what the benefits of silica and gelatin is. And the first thing that will come out of her mouth is it makes your fingernails grow faster and stronger, and your hair to grow faster and stronger. Well, if your fingernails are growing faster and stronger, so is every bone in your body. And so one of the main reasons why we have those there for those benefits. And then moving on, we're going to go over this one, and we're going to go to Procardio. More people die of cardiovascular disease, more people die of poor circulation in their body, more people die of cancer than we need in our country. One of the biggest problems I have with our pharmaceuticals, it seems like they develop treatments, not preventions. And I wish that they would lean towards the other direction. Business wise, I know exactly why they're doing what they're doing, but we can get on that on another day. But you can go to pubmed.gov and you can put in things like turmeric and essential fatty acids, CoQ10, quercetin, and all those key ingredients that are in our product. And you're all going to see that they're beneficial in helping people with cardiovascular problems and blood circulation problems. And then down here, you see black pepper extract. And the main reason why that's in there is it speeds all those items up. It speeds up your metabolism, speeds up your circulation and things like that, so that they get to all the parts faster. And that's why you see a lot of time people add pepper to CoQ10, or pepper with garlic, or pepper with resveratrol in those particular benefits, because it works as a cofactor to make all those products, including the turmeric, work better. Then the other thing is, and it's one of our health claims, is that essential fatty acids, and getting enough essential fatty acids, especially underline omega-3. Omega-3 needs to be a 2-to-1 ratio in my mind to omega-6. We get omega-6 from corn. So let's look at the typical US diet. We get corn in everything because it's a very inexpensive filler. The other problem I have with corn within the United States is it's genetically modified in 95% of the cases, and I don't particularly like that. You don't see it in Europe, and when you talk to Europe and the Mediterranean diet they have over there, you realize they eat a lot more fresh fruits and vegetables. And people, they eat olive oil, which is high in omega-3. They smoke, but they have less cancer than us. So we need to start figuring out why. It may not be the smoking that's the biggest problem. It may be processed foods that are the biggest problem. And we need to improve our diet. You hear me talk about it all the time. Eat from the outside of your grocery store, not the middle of your grocery store, because all the stuff on the outside is typically better for you, except for maybe some of the bakery stuff. We'll leave that out. But everyone has to have a little chocolate, right? Chocolate's good for you too, as long as it's dark chocolate. And so this particular product has the EFAs in it, the turmeric, resveratrol, quercetin, kind of like Cell Shield RTQ, and garlic in it and pepper. I like it a lot. I work it the same way as some of the other things. Other cardiovascular products that I really like is Cardio FX. I'm prejudiced. I designed that one. So we'll be honest about that. I like Cardio Beets. I like Cardio Sticks. And there's a Stay Natural, and it's probably called Stay Cardio. I might be wrong on that name. And it's an herbal formula that is very, very good. And so you have choices. And I think everyone goes, why do we have so many products? And I think those choices are good because I'm going to take a sip here. If you know anything about oils, you'll know that with some people, certain oils work really well, and with other people, other oils work really well. Well, we find the same thing with nutritional products, and that with some combinations, some people just react differently. And so it makes it more difficult for our people doing this as a business because they have to learn which products are the substitute products that they may want to try and be beneficial to, and which product are really the go-to products that you want to try. Remember that you're always welcome, and I do get more emails from this group. You can email me, richard@youngevity.com, if you run into a stumbling block, and we'll talk about the benefits of that. Now, the one that kind of steps outside the norm is that all the previous products before were basically support to Dr. Wallach's 90 Essential Nutrients. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets is an alternative to the powder and the liquids. Now, they're not quite as good, but as far as a tablet, it's in my mind by far the most. But I'm going to point right up here at the top because we always talk about these things. A serving size is 4 tablets. This is not one a day unless I made it the size of your index finger. And I don't think anyone wants to eat one that big. And so there's 4 tablets. Do you have to take them all at the same time? No. Are they a blend of all the ingredients throughout all the tablets? Yes. And so can you take it for breakfast, lunch, midday, and dinner? Yes. Or can you take it for breakfast 2, lunch 1, dinner 1? Yes. I encourage that you take it at the beginning of the day when you need the vitamins, not at the end of the day when you want to go to sleep. And so, and that's pretty much true with all our multivitamins. As you can see here, it has a wide variety of vitamins. Also, the major minerals, it has potassium at a higher rate, has whole foods. It also has our trace minerals. It has resveratrol in it. It has pre and probiotics in it. Chondroitin sulfate for your joints, but I will say that the chondroitin sulfate is from bovine, so this does have an animal product in it. So we all need to be aware of those things. I think we talked about this earlier, that 3.0 does not have animal products in it now. And so if you have that person that makes the choice in their life to be vegetarian or vegan, whether they do it for religious purposes or because they feel better that way, 3.0 is the way to go on that, but we do not have a tablet that will fulfill their needs. And so there again, price point wise, it's a reasonable price point wise. Whoops, there's a price point. It's a little bit less than the powders and the liquids. And you can go down here and start reading about all the information that's in there. And then because we can't make any claims of prescribe or diagnose, then it becomes a due diligence situation where you get to read what's pubmed.gov. Remember, in my opinion, if you just go to Amazon or Google and search, half of that stuff is lies. And it's not a good thing, but I can tell you I use AI, but then when I look at AI, then I back it up to go to PubMed, and maybe I'll narrow down my search with that, because I found that AI is making mistakes. It's not a guarantee. It's not a Dr. Wallach. And so but it is beneficial. I've used it on this call where I'll bring up a chapter on AI when I agree with it and see the benefits on it. So, we just look at it, pre and probiotics, vitamin A, C, E, D, selenium, another one of our health claims to help prevent cardiovascular disease and certain cancers. We can actually say that certain cancers, and when you want to look up which cancers they are, you can go to the FDA and look up health claims and selenium, and they made a list of them. It's not as big a list as we do, but it is beneficial. We actually had a benefit of University of Clemson do some research with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine powder and the classic. And I know AJ will love this one. And what they did is they took samples of both the products and exposed them to cancerous cells to see what the reaction was. And we had better results with the liquid than we did with the powder, but they were surprised on both of them. Now, we used to have a beautiful brochure that explained all this, and you'll kind of laugh about this. Clemson actually asked us to stop it. The reason is because us as distributors, instead of calling our upline or me to ask the questions, they were trying to call the professors at Clemson University and get them to answer the question. And they were getting 50 calls a day at Clemson University. And so they politely called us and say, can you stop handing it out? If you on small calls state that it came from Clemson University and that you want to mention that, that's great. But let's not get carried away. Just like we've used some universities out of Canada to do research on some of our other products to show the benefits of them. These studies, even though we try to say we don't pay for them, we usually give a contribution to the university. Once we find out we want to do it, we usually want to find that grad student that wants to get his PhD and is open-minded on this stuff to write a beginning thesis with his prospect on what he hoped the research would show, and then we'll help them a little bit with some of the costs. But that's kind of how that goes. Youngevity and Dr. Wallach has gotten more health claims passed through the FDA than any other university, health organization, hospital, or doctor in the world. And so that's his way of putting money behind it, what he states. And one of the reasons why he's not a paid employee of Youngevity is that because he's still a licensed physician and he's allowed to make these claims, but if he were to turn around and receive benefits from Youngevity, he couldn't name the products, and he wants to be able to name the products. And so I encourage all of you to get his books. I'm sure Becca has a way to make that happen, and take a look-see at them. Immortalium is one of my favorites. Dead Doctors Don't Lie is another one of my favorites. If you're like me and like to read articles and things like that, Rare Earth Forbidden Cures, one of the original books, is really one of my favorites. And so I'll encourage all of you to do this. I'm going to take this down so you can see my smiling face. Hello. Turn around and kind of open it up for questions for people, because I'm sure there's going to be just a slew because I ran through all this. And Becca, do you want to control the questions, or because you see all the hands, I think?
Yes, and I actually see questions you don't see. And I do want you to, or I want to say thank you for bringing up Dr. Wallach's books, because I was going to bring up a couple of them. If you're here live in the chat with, or live in the Zoom with us, I just put in information to help you reach out and get Dr. Wallach's books. I think he's at 25 publications, like as far as book goes, over 77 peer-reviewed studies, and then around 100 recorded audios of lectures that he's done in the past, plus everything that you see on Daily with Doc, where we had Dr. Wallach on with us for 5 days a week. We had him all day or 2 hours on Fridays for quite a while. We had him 3 days a week and then 2 days a week. He is just wants to go, go, go. And I love the fact that he has dedicated his life to each and every one of us and helping us to be able to reach that 120. You know, he talked about 200 years, 400 years. And I'm like, you know, that is vision. That is vision. To have the forethought in looking into what the body needs, what was missing on all the autopsies that he had come across his table, or even the reports that he studied to figure out, okay, why did this happen? And linking it to those nutritional deficiencies. And Richard, with 90 essential nutrients that he found, and approximately 10 specific poor health symptoms per nutrient, that's over 900 different poor health conditions that are nutrient deficient related. That's crazy.
It is. And, you know, I'll encourage you to get all his books. It's a great resource, except for maybe the first book, because the first book's a little expensive if you don't have it. Here, I'm going to disappear off my screen.
I have that one.
But I won't stop talking because I remember when he was writing this book. I guess I'm dating myself. First of all, it's a telephone book, but it's
Very
back
thick.
on veterinarian days. And I'm very proud of this book because I have it autographed by him. Now, the last time I went on eBay to look for it, it's a $1,000 textbook. And it's no longer in publication. But, you know, I have gone to several zoos across the time. Steve and I both enjoy going to zoos. We usually try to run into the head vet, and all Steve has to do is mention his last name, and the vet's eyes just go boom, because this is the Bible for veterinarians that are in zoos or large animal institutions. And so maybe not that one, but all the other ones are great, great books, you know, and fun to read. But the books are basically designed in two formats. The first format is a story or history or something like this. The second format is his old file cabinet that he had back in his medical office with the mimeograph, and I use that word as a true word. I know there's young people on here who go, basically, what's that? And I'll say it's blue finger syndrome. And you would go in and you would drop a quarter and you go through his file cabinets and you would look up your symptoms, maybe a common cold, and pull it out, and it would say which nutritional product to take. Well, he basically made that into a book, and it's usually the second half in almost all his books. And so it's always worth getting, and it's always worth having there. I can tell you that I have a full book stand on the other side of me, and Dr. Wallach's books are on the top shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I have all of them, including the first one that you saw. And folks, even if you have younger readers, that Rhino Express is a great little adventure book. And that talks about his early days where he was working with the white rhino and saving them from extinction. So that was a great book as well. Richard, let's get to some questions. Okay. So one of the first questions, and you may or may not have the information for this, but we have Olga wanting to know about the vitamin C chewables. Are they available anymore? I'm not finding them because I was looking for them the other day.
I don't
And
think so. I don't think
will
we
there
bought them.
be something new coming down the pipeline?
I don't know of anything on the drawing books. The reason why Steve deletes a product, there's really only one, and that is that we as the distributors aren't recommending it enough. And what's happened over the last 8 years is that it used to be a minimum order would be like 2,000 bottles. And the shelf life on a product like that is typically 3 years. Well, we were able to sell 2,000 bottles in 3 years. What's changed is that instead of at 2,000 bottles, now it's like 5 to 10,000, depending on what the product is. And we were having products sit on our shelf for 2 years. Well, if it sits on the shelf for 2 years, that means it only has 1 year of shelf life left on that particular style product. And Steve doesn't want to sell it that way. And so we ended up throwing product away. That's how things get canceled. So if it's something, and I'll give you an example, we almost lost the whole Good Herb line. And I went to Steve and fought for that. And he goes, well, I'm throwing it away. And I turn around and say, okay, I'll plug it. And any product you throw away, I'll buy. Put your money where your mouth is. And so he says, you'll buy it? And I go, yes, I'll talk to the manufacturer. We'll get it down to smaller amounts so that we can keep the products fresher. We'll make it happen. I know the manufacturer. I've known him for 32, 33 years, and we'll make that happen. And so we did. And Good Herbs now, we have no problem selling out very quickly. And so it's just a perfect way. Can we get a vitamin C chewable back? It's possible, but you're going to have to prove to Steve that we're going to sell it. So the burden comes back on our shoulders.
Well, and I completely understand that. And that's one of the reasons why I have individuals like yourself where we're talking about specific products or product lines so that we can create more awareness of those amazing products, because we don't want to see them go.
No.
And Good Herbs is one of them. So if you can help me get, and I think it might be Brett that I need to talk to, on the line with us, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
I would greatly appreciate that. And let's go over to AJ with his hand up. AJ, what question are you bringing up today?
Well, I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm just going to poke fun at Richard because, yeah, I know. There's a product that we are wondering about, which is Ultimate Daily Classic. Is that a Proline?
Oops, I forgot that one. Yes.
Poking fun. See, you need some more Synaptiv.
I'm more Synaptiv. Give me some Synaptiv.
I even think hoping that you can run that down. Carrie was very interested to know more about the Ultimate Daily Classic, given that it's one of Doc's favorites and he always talks about it. And then I'll have a follow-up when you're done.
Okay, wait a minute here. There it is. There it is. Blah, 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 blah. Share. Can you see it?
It's there now.
Okay, so Ultimate Daily Classic is a multivitamin. I like 2.0 quite a bit better. It's a little more simplified, but does it have the major vitamins in it? Yes. It has D3 in it, which is from lanolin. So those that, depending on what their beliefs are, that would veto it for some of the products. But it has the methyl form of B12 and as well as folate. And so I think that was the first product that we came out with that we made the statement that we're going to switch over to methyl. Now, we use the methyl form of both of those on quite a few products. If you talk to Dr. Joanne Conaway, for the people that are saying that they can't absorb B12 or folate unless it's the methyl form, she feels it's more of a gut problem than it is an absorption problem. She says, if I work on your gut, you'll be able to get benefits from both products. But in this particular one, we have it there. We have our major vitamins in it as well. A few amino acids. That's where the tablets, 2.0 tablets come out a little bit stronger. There's that chondroitin sulfate. So what does that mean? It's got bovine in it. And CoQ10 and hawthorn berry. Hawthorn berry I really like, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the other ones. The big thing that hawthorn berry does is increase blood circulation. it takes out all the garbage in your arteries, so there's less resistance and makes it more Teflon. And so, you know, I turned 70 and I go into my doctor's office for my annual checkup that I'm a good boy about. And she checks it and I'm 110 over 80. And she turns around and goes, I can't believe your blood pressure. And I go, I can. And, you know, my original doctor, and I miss her much, used to be a formulator for a nutritional company that you would all know if I mentioned it. And so she knows exactly what I does. But she has to go by the hospital protocol. And she goes, well, I'm supposed to put you on a statin drug. And I just looked at her and rolled my eyes. And she goes, and I go, why? And, you know, she couldn't give me a good reason. And I go, well, you can write the prescription if you want. And she goes, I know what that means. It means you're not going to take it. And I go, that's correct. And so, you know, this is a great product. I encourage everyone to make sure they're taking a product that has hawthorn berry in it, especially as they get older or if they feel they eat a bad diet, to help them in that area. There again, it's in the glass bottle, it's in the box. If I turn around and take it off this screen, AJ, you'll even know that I have the box on my desk.
I hear they work better when you take them.
Yeah, but that's true. But you know, I have Karen. One of these days we'll bring Karen on. She's my significant other. And when she and I got together and started to spend time with others, she ate maybe a vitamin C, maybe something else. And now she takes BTT powder and probably 20 different tablets. And, you know, her friends come over and go, what are you doing? And she takes them during the day. And she's my greatest salesman because she says, I feel so much better than I used to. It's almost, and she's coming up to another birthday that she'll become older than me instead of the same age as me. And so she's impressed. And everyone always looks at us and say, you don't look 70. And so we say thank you very much, and thank you very much, Dr. Wally. So Beck, back to you.
Yeah, and that's absolutely correct, because I've seen you recently, and even in 2020 when we went to Cabo, and you didn't look, you know, over 65 then. You don't look over 65 now. And that's 6 years later. So it's awesome how it is that when we give our body what our body needs, the body, it just slows down that whole aging process and makes things better. That's why I love the fact that we can do U-turns when it comes to our health, because the body is continually regenerating cells. Now, we've got a question in regards to that Ultimate Daily Classic, wanting to know which is better for blood pressure, the Ultimate Daily Classic or the Procardio. Is there a better?
If they're taking the 90 essential nutrients, I push them towards Procardio.
Okay.
If finances become an issue, then I'll push them towards Ultimate Daily.
Okay. Now, and that's Ultimate Daily Classic, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And because the question that comes up very often to me when I have somebody on the 90 essential nutrients, which includes the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, whether it's the powder or the tablets, and then we add in the Ultimate Daily Classic, there are those that will look at the labels and say, well, there's so much of an overlap. Am I not overdoing it on these nutrients?
So when they look at RDA and RDI, that's the minimum to prevent certain diseases. And the best one I can give is vitamin C. Most people can take vitamin C into bowel intolerance, and we all know what that means. But that's not what the RDA per C is. If we look at it, 400 milligrams, it's 100 milligrams. Well, that will help prevent you from getting scurvy, but that's about it. And vitamin C has a lot more benefits as an antioxidant than that, but you need more than that. And so the other reason why some of our percentages are so crazy, like B12, is B12 is hard to absorb through your digestive tract. And for us, when we start to look at how much is in your blood, if you take X amount of milligrams or micrograms of B12 or folate or those, you need to have that level to get a sufficient level in your bloodstream. And so that is our belief. Now, you have to remember that this is controlled by the FDA, and the FDA is controlled by pharmaceuticals. They would just assume we drop off the face of the earth. Now, there's a good chance that Kennedy will open up new avenues for us. We'll have to do a wait and see, but that's probably only going to be a 4-year term and as a secretary, because when there's a new president, there'll probably be a new cabinet. And so we're hoping that he allows things to move forward within that, to allow us to have a greater freedom of speech and go from there.
All right. Yeah, well, and hopefully that 4 years will then proceed by, another cabinet that has some of the same philosophies, because, fall off the face of the earth, that's a very negative outlook. But yeah. So next question before we get back to AJ. And this is coming from an individual that works a lot with those in the medical field. She says, given I spend my time with those in the medical system, they're looking for who the scientific board is, their technical backgrounds, to ensure the formulas will stay 100% in alignment with Dr. Wallach's science. They have been asking who those individuals are and seeking assurances that product formulas are not compromised via product changes, revisions, and etc.
The head of the scientific board is Dr. Wallach. The head of any changes as far as formulas is Steve Wallach. Those are the two key people. I think that people just need to get to know Steve to realize he's not going to compromise quality for profits. I am happy to say Youngevity is in a much better position than it was 3 years ago. That being said, we're moving forward with different things. Other members of the scientific board, we meet only once a year now. I'm on it, as well as some other ones. It used to have Dr. Schrouser and Dr. Edwin Dubois on it, but they've left us. And being in their 90s, I hope that their loved ones have a great life. But I'll see if I can get a bio and have it available on the next time I'm on, which is June 25th.
Perfect. And I am so thankful, full of gratitude that you have agreed to join us every month. And that's the last Wednesday of the month, or the fourth Wednesday of the month. Fourth Wednesday. So we're excited to have you on. All the
weight's on Ruth Ellen's shoulders to make sure I don't forget.
There you go, Ruth Ellen. You've got this, girl. All right, let's go over to AJ for another question. We've got 5 minutes. Can't believe the hour is almost up.
So my question, Richard, is about OL. So like inositol, I know helps your body to regulate blood sugar in some way. But I know that our body can produce it. The question is, there are folks who, whenever they see, or actually influencers on the internet, said, never buy a product that ends in OL, because that indicates that there's a sugar, and you don't want to purchase any product that has OL, when I know that the inositol is important. And what would I kind of say to someone who's got a little bit of knowledge, and that little bit of knowledge is dangerous in that particular case? What might I do?
So there are sugars that are bad for you that I wouldn't put in my body. there's sugars that are in your body that your body makes when it has certain combinations of carbon molecules within there. They have, I would say, if it's a synthetic, I would stay away from it. If it's naturally occurring, it's much safer. Then they're going to turn around and say, well, what about beet sugar and sugarcane sugar? And when we were eating as a country a pound a year, it wasn't a problem. The problem is that we don't have enough self-discipline to eat more fruits and vegetables. So we have to look at our overall diet, because if you look at what orange, does orange have any sugars in it? Does grapefruit have any sugars in it? Does bananas have any sugar in it? So on and so forth. They all do. And some of them, once they're in your body, will end with OL. So I think you just have to say, is it a synthetic form or is it a natural form? If it's a natural form, there's far less concerns.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard. We have another question coming in about another product. Are you familiar with the Slender FX meal replacement shakes?
Yep.
So the question is, why is there sugar and oil in them?
So the sugar is in there to make it so you'll take it, because when you start tasting those vitamins without any sort of a amount, and I think the Slender FX has 6 grams of sugar per serving, which is not a huge amount, but it's there. That's the main reason. The other one is that on some of the oils, there's certain nutrients we get from those oils, and we want to take advantage of it. Also, it helps in the factor of the mixing and preservative of the product. And so in both cases, they're in very small amounts. And I doubt if you'll find a meal replacement shake that has 0 sugar in it. I'm going to guess there's one out there, but I don't think I'd want to taste it. You know, I personally, just because I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I just believe in vegetables a lot, I actually take the Stay Natural vegetable plant-based shake.
Plant-based.
But that's got some things in it that people won't like either. So I guess on those replacement shakes, I'll just say, you know, pick the one that you like the best. But to me, the flavoring means a lot, and enjoying it. I like a good vanilla, because if I can get a good vanilla, I can put all sorts of fruits and vegetables in it, like mango and other things in it, to make delicious shakes and give me a variety every day. Karen, as I mentioned earlier, she makes yogurt. She makes her own yogurt using raw cashews and tofu and vegetables, but she'll quite often put meal replacement powder in the yogurt, and then she blends the living daylights out of it. I mean, I have to mute everything in the office because the blender is so loud when she chews up those cashews. But it's a delicious yogurt. And so if you want, you can email me and I'll send you the recipe of the yogurt. But it's a vegan yogurt.
Fantastic. You know, my favorite ice cream is a cashew ice cream. So, all right. And final question, as we are at the top of the hour, are there any plans in creating another flavor of the BTT, Beyond Tangy Tangerine?
So we're always looking at improving it. Right now, we just came out with 3 about a year ago. Has it been a year? Not quite a year. And so that's the new kid on the block. Is there a chances that we'll improve or change? Yes. But it's a thing where if you have a particular style of flavor that you want, you just have to encourage Steve Wallach to look into that flavoring style. I will tell you that, believe it or not, flavoring is the most expensive item within the powders. That flavoring complex is expensive.
Especially when you're not using artificial flavors.
Right.
Makes sense to me. All right. Well, Richard, thank you so much. We had some more questions. Do you have time for one more?
Sure.
Hattie wants to know, so the Ultimate Daily Classic promotes the opening up of the arteries, especially for kidneys. Is it still a best option for kidneys?
Yes.
All right, Hattie. Keep on taking those ultimate daily classics to promote circulation through the kidneys and other organs that have tiny little vessels and the body. All right. Thank you so very much, Richard. We look forward to seeing you in just over 4 weeks from today. I think it might be 5 weeks, or 4 weeks. I don't know. The 4th Wednesday of the month, folks. Richard Renton, also known as Dr. Dirt. We are, you always bring so much to the table, and we greatly appreciate you. If I could get my co-host up on the screen with us, I love the fact that I don't have to do this by myself. We have built an amazing community where we work together, promoting this amazing company that Dr. Wallach, yourself, and Steve started, what, 28 years ago now?
Let's see. Let's look over my shoulder and see what the date was. Yep.
28 years ago, and still going strong. And like you said, stronger than they were 3 years ago. So that is absolutely fantastic. Folks, if you're joining us and somebody referred you to this program, make sure that you get back with them. They are your point of contact. They're your person. They cared enough about you to share this program with you. So take the time, get back with them, thank them. And if you have any questions, they are the person that you start with, okay? Now, if you were not referred to this program, you found us on your own, and you would like to talk with somebody and wanting to know what would be a good spot for you, I do have a team of certified holistic health coaches, many of them here on the screen with me, that can be reached at 855-949-3377. Again, that's for people that are not already working with somebody, that were not referred to this program. We want to maintain the integrity of our structure. And by doing that, we want to offer consultations to those, but always refer you back to the person that referred you to this program, or the person you're already working with. Now, on the screen with us today, we have Rod, who's helping to bring in questions from out on the web and keeping an eye on those different platforms, also commenting to create more tractions. Thank you so much, Rod, for all that you do. We have Marilyn, who is using her skills of speedy fingers and putting the information into the chat here live on the Zoom, or in the Zoom room. Thank you so much, Marilyn. We have Phyllis, who is adding in comments as well. She's also out on the platforms bringing questions in from the platforms as we see them, so that we can ask them here live on this program, because we don't want to leave anybody out. But if we did not get to your question, feel free to email us at questions@dailywithdoc.com, and we will get answers back to you. So thank you, Phyllis, for all that you do as well. We have my executive production manager, Ruth Ellens, who is helping to keep everything flowing smoothly. She's putting the Zoom live broadcast together with the graphics and then pushing it out onto all the different platforms. So thank you so much, Ruth Ellen. We have Albert joining us from South Africa. So if you call our call team and you've got this amazing accent on the other line, folks, that's this gentleman right here. Happy to help you. And he also allows it so that we can have 24-hour coverage on our phones. So thank you so much, Albert. And we have Sherry, also part of my tech team, putting the starting, like for Facebook, making sure that everything is set up right so that we can push out to Facebook. Thank you so much, Sherry. And we have AJ, who has been very instrumental in helping us get on all these different platforms. And there's too many of them that if I start listening 1 or 2 or 10, I'll miss another 10 or 12. So thank you so much, AJ, for all that you do in helping to get this message out. Richard, it's because of you and what you have been doing for so many years that we are able to keep this program going. You and Dr. Wallach. Dr. Wallach is my hero. If it wasn't for me finding Dr. Wallach, I may not be alive today. So I will never, ever, ever forget that. He is amazing, and I had the honor of working directly with him in San Diego for 2 years. So in addition to the programs and everything, it has been an honor to assist Dr. Wallach in helping to get the message out. Folks, if you've been helped by this message, whether it's just through listening or actually trying the products, get back with the person that shared this program with you and ask them how you can be part of Dr. Wallach's crusade to save humanity, because there is a spot for you. And if you want to give the products a try, you're not going to regret it. As we heard today, got some amazing products with amazing top quality and nutrients. You can't go wrong. Richard, did you want to add one more thing in closing?
I just think the most important things is health and family, and just take care of both.
Absolutely. And that's the nice thing about this business is we can work it around family, which is fantastic while we're keeping them healthy. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc and Becca. We will see you tomorrow on the 29th as we are bringing another episode with our dear Sherry and as an herbalist, and we'll be talking about those herbs in the kitchen with medicinal values. Until next time, my name is Becca Dukes. This program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. And go to our website. You're going to find previous episodes of our show, plus, or you can sign up for our newsletter and a store for those that are not already working with somebody. Bye for now. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.